Hi friends, I'm Ellen Gormley and welcome back to my channel. Today we're making a flat Tunisian circle. So this is the front side. This is in Tunisian simple stitch. This is the back side. You do not need a cable Tunisian hook. I just used the straight Tunisian hook and you can too. Let's get into it. So I'm going to grab some worsted weight yarn and a hook that goes with it and get us started with a slip knot, and a chain of 12. The more chains you have, the bigger your circle will be. This is going to be a chain of 12, which is the radius, right? The half of the circle. So put your hook in there and chain as many as you want for this example and swatch. If you're swatching along, please do 12. So I'm at 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm going to pause to let the cat in. In the second chain from the hook, we're going to pull up a loop in the first back bar, back ridge, back chain of the first stitch. So I'm pulling up a loop, but we're going to stop there because we're going to do short rows. So yarn over and pull through one loop on the hook, yarn over and pull through 2 loops on the hook. So we've now completed one row of just one stitch. So we have the first stitch of the second row on the hook already. We're going to get the last 2 loops as if we're at the end of the row, pulling up a loop, and now we will grab the next available back ridge, back bump, back bar of the next chain. So we're on row 2, but we have 3 loops on the hook. Okay, now we're going to return. So we're doing short rows. Yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So we're making a point this direction. So if you're like, oh, this is confusing, if you turn it this way, maybe that'll make it a little bit easier for you. And we can see the stitches that we have in the previous row. I'll bring this closer for you. So we had the first stitch, here's the second stitch, and then the third stitch used the chain. So we're now going to do the next row, the third row. We have one chain, one loop already on the hook, so we're skipping this first vertical bar. We will Tunisian simple stitch in the next vertical bar. Then we will Tunisian simple stitch in the side of the last stitch, which is the 2 bars like we usually do in a row. And we're going to grab one of the chains. Okay. Whew. And now we are done with this row. So we are going to leave those chains dangling there unworked. We're going to yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. So if you're seeing the pattern developing, we're going to have one more loop each time because we're adding the next available chain each time. So one's already on the hook representing this first vertical bar. Then we're going to Tunisian simple in the next vertical bar, Tunisian simple in each of the vertical bars across to the last stitch. In the last stitch, we're grabbing the 2 loops of the side, just like we do if we were working in rows across. But then we're going to add one by getting the next available chain, pulling up a bar in the next available chain. Okay, yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, 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 all the way around. Okay, so we are going to keep going. This is where we are on the circle. We're making these short rows here, and we will keep going. Don't worry, there is no cutting involved. There's just a little bit of seaming at the very end, and I will show that to you. We will skip ahead. But let's get this started. I want to show you how to finish the first wedge of the 6 wedges and then how to start the next wedge to build off of the first and then how to seam. So now we have 6 stitches on the hook and we are going to, did I get one? I did. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, all the way across. So we are doing rows. If you think about it, we are doing rows this way. So we started with one stitch, essentially 2 stitches, and then we added one, added one, added one. So if it helps you to be oriented this way, then we're working from the point up. So the chain across here is how we started, but we're building up the side. Okay, I hope that helps. Anyway, let's keep on going, because I believe that crochet is a relaxing and valuable use of our time, and we just don't see many Tunisian circles very often. I think this makes the fantastic start of a hat. This also makes a fantastic base to a bag, and also it's just fun to make circles. And making circles out of a straight hook without a cable is fantastic too. So we can do Tunisian in the round, so to speak, but this is making a flat circle. We're not exactly working in the round. It is rows. We're making wedges to complete the circle. You could make this circle as big as your hook is wide. So I could make this, instead of starting with 12 chains, I could have started with enough chains that's the length of my hook, plus if you squished them all together, you could probably get 10 more. So you probably could have gotten a circle that's as big as, 40 stitches across. We're just doing 12 right now. Okay, yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, on across. So this is really nice because you don't have to have any special equipment to get this Tunisian circle done. Please make sure you like and subscribe, by the way. There's all sorts of fun things going on the channel. Please hit the notification bell as we get closer to 9,000 subscribers and 10,000 subscribers. There will be more giveaways, so you might want to just subscribe. It's free, it's fun, and the closer we get to those landmarks, the sooner we get more giveaways on the channel. Yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2, okay, all the way across. So we're getting close to the end. I want to make sure that you see how we finish off this triangle. We've got 1, 2, 3 more rows to go because we have 3 chains left to use. So we're going to pull up, we've got 1 already on the hook, pulling up 1. So we've got 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, you can do other stitches as well. 7, 8, pulling up a stitch in the 9th of the last one, and then adding 1 more. That makes 10. So we should have 10 loops on our hook. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We're going to get to 12, and that makes sense because we have 1, 2 left. 2 plus 10 is 12. So we are right on target. We are right on pace. To finish this first wedge, we're going to do 6 wedges because you know that triangles, 6 of them, make a hexagon. And we have, it's essentially a hexagon, even though it's a circle. So the bigger you go, the more the sides are defined. The smaller the circle, the more circular it will be without noticeable points. So this is a hexagon, but it's also a circle. Do you see it? Anyway, let's keep right on going. Hey, Theo, come on up here. He's going to jump up here. Oh, you know what? This is a really high table for him, and he's going to fall. So let me grab him before he hurts himself. My table is about waist high for me, and that's just too big of a jump for him. So I just wanted to pick him up and grab him so that he doesn't hurt himself. He is up on the table, so here he comes. Hey there, Theo. Do you have pets at home that like to help you with your crochet? You're blocking my light there, Theo. Okay, and then we've got in the next chain, this is the 11th try, the 11th go around, and we've got 1 more before we then move on to the next wedge. So we continue to yarn over and pull through 1, then yarn over and pull through 2 the rest of the way across. Theo makes quite a few cameo appearances in the greenery blanket series of videos. So if you want to see him, you can see him there in the greenery blanket series of videos. I have right and left-handed version. It has its own playlist, and that is quite fun. It's a traditional crochet playlist, so it's not Tunisian. So as we get over here across to the last stitch, and then we have one chain left, so we're going to pull up a loop in that last chain. You know what I forgot to tell you, but it's okay. Here, let's count. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I don't normally do this, so this is why I forgot. I wanted to tell you to leave a really long tail here at the beginning, because then we could use it for seaming. So this tail is not long enough. I wish I had left about 7 or 8 inches of tail, but it's okay. We'll work with it. I did leave it on my other swatch where I'm going to show you how to seam. So as we finish up this 12 stitch row, we're going to yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2, all the way across. When we are about to finish up with pulling through on the return pass, when it's time to yarn over and pull through the last 2 stitches, I'm going to change color because I want to be able to show you more carefully or more closely. I'm going to cut this pink, pick up the darker pink. I want to show you more obviously, if that's the right word, more illustratively how the second wedge goes. Okay, so yarn over and pull through with the new color so that I can now begin working with the new color. So now we have finished one wedge and it's time to start working the next wedge. And we're going to make more short rows exactly like we did this, but instead of working off of a chain, pretend this is our chain and we're going to work off of it this way. Okay, so these vertical bars now become the foundation chain that we used here. We're just going to use those vertical bars instead. Okay, here we go. So anytime you want to change color on this circle, just do what I did there and pull through with the new yarn in the last stitch. So now we're just we have one chain or one loop on the hook. We're going to do the first stitch, yarn over and pull up a loop. And this is our first row. Yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, now it is time to do the next row. I'm going to tension up that tail a little bit. I have one loop on the hook for this stitch here. The next stitch is right here. I'm going to grab the 2 bars of the final Tunisian simple stitch right there. Plus add one more and do a Tunisian simple stitch in the next available stitch instead of into the next available chain. So yarn over and pull through 1, yarn over and pull through 2, yarn over and pull through 2. Okay, so we're building these rows up. So get the vertical bar, get the last vertical bar, and then get the next vertical bar. Okay, so we're building one more stitch each time. Yarn over, pull through 1, yarn over, pull through 2 all the way across. Yarn over, pull up a loop in the next, not yarn over, but just pull up a loop in each of the vertical bars across, including the 2 loops of the last vertical bar, and add one more by the next vertical bar on the previous row. Yarn over, not previous row, but previous wedge, triangle, whatever. So I yarned over and pulled through 1. I'm going to yarn over and pull through 2 all the way across. So we're going to continue this all the way until we have 12, just 12 stitches made, just like we have the full wedge made, just like we did on the last one. And then we'll just keep doing this. And then I want to show you how to finish it off. Okay. So let's put this down and show you where we are. Okay, remove my hook. Okay, so this is where we are. So we made our first wedge, then we started working our second wedge, then we'll work the third wedge, then we'll work the fourth wedge off of the previous wedge, just like we did here, until we have 6 wedges. Can you see them here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay, so when we have all 6 wedges, here's one that has all 6 wedges. I'm going to, when I pulled back, when I returned pass and pulled back all the way to the end, I left a long tail with the very, very beginning here. Like I said, oh, I wish I had told you to leave a long tail off that beginning chain. So I have that here. So we're going to mate up the foundation chain of the first original 12 plus the final 12 stitches here. And it's up to you if you want to do a bind off one row here, like single crochet, Tunisian simple crochet there, but I don't know, I think that would just be too bulky there. So when I just returned pass, I just ended it right there. So next we're going to zoom it together, sew it together. I like to use the tail from the middle where the original slip knot was. Line up stitch for stitch. If you need to use stitch markers, which, did the cat take those? Where'd they go? Oh, here they are. If you need to use stitch markers, you can. So if I were to use stitch markers, I would line up the last stitch here with the last stitch here to make sure that I don't miss any. And then I would kind of fold this over so that I'm looking at the wrong side and match up stitches. So here's the underside of the foundation chain. Here's the top 2 loops of that last row. So here's the tail. I need the tail on the right side. Actually, this is the wrong side, but the side I want to use. So the right sides are folded in facing each other, and I have this little sandwich, and I am going to line up my stitches, make sure they're all nice and neat, and I can whip stitch through the stitch here and through the stitch here and whip stitch this together. There will be a little bit of a hole right there in the very middle. Okay, so we are just lining it up, going through the stitches to make this circle no longer a Pac-Man, but a continuous circle. And this is why I wanted to leave 7 or 8 stitches, or inches at the bottom of our foundation chain before we made the 12, because I liked the yarn coming from the middle of the circle so I could line it up easier. When you fasten off, you could leave a nice tail and then whip stitch this way, but I found it easier to line stitches up with one another if you work from the center outward. Then remove your locking stitch marker when you get to the end here and whip stitch the final stitches and knot it off and open it up, and here is your completed circle.